Welcome to the Conscious Kinky Podcast, where we explore sexuality, connection, and power through awareness and intentional choice.
At the Kink Collective, we help people reframe their relationship with sexuality, build deeper connections, and become safe spaces in the world.
Each episode invites reflection, not performance.
And the conversation continues inside Conscious Conversations, our live community space. Welcome to the conversation.
What if the reason you struggle to feel close to people isn't because the right person hasn't come along, but because you don't actually feel safe letting yourself be seen?
What if your guard isn't protecting you from the wrong people, but also keeping you from the right ones?
Because most people say they want connection, but when it gets close, they tighten.
They pull back. They test, they perform, they protect. Not because they don't care, but because vulnerability doesn't feel safe yet. Welcome to the Conscious Kinky Podcast. I'm Kat.
And I'm Joshua.
This podcast is about helping you understand how you actually show up in connection. Not just what you say you want, but what you do when things get real.
This month is about safety. Episode 1 was about recognizing safety in your body. Episode 2 was about how control replaces safety. And today we're stepping into what happens when control starts to loosen.
Because when control softens, you don't immediately feel free. You feel exposed.
And that's where trust and vulnerability come in. Not as ideas, but as practices.
There was a time in my life where I thought I trusted people. I would say I was open. I would say I was honest. I would say I was available. But what I didn't realize was that I was controlling how I was seen. I would share, but only what felt safe to share. I would open up, but only in ways that didn't actually risk rejection. I would be vulnerable, but not in a way that still kept me in control.
And I think that's something a lot of people don't catch, because it feels like vulnerability. It sounds like vulnerability, but underneath it, you're still managing the outcome.
Exactly. I wasn't letting myself be seen. I was presenting a version of myself that felt acceptable to be seen.
For me, it showed up differently. I could be very open emotionally, very expressive, very connected in conversation. But I noticed when something really mattered, when I actually cared about the outcome, I would start adjusting. I would soften what I really wanted, delay saying something honest. I would read the room before I spoke. I would try to make sure it landed well. And that's not vulnerability, that's strategy. And here's the hard truth about that. Most people don't struggle with vulnerability because they're closed. They struggle with vulnerability because they're protecting something.
Right. Let's name what vulnerability actually is. Vulnerability is letting yourself be seen without controlling how you're received. And that's why it feels risky.
Because the moment you stop controlling the outcome, you no longer know how they'll respond, or how you'll be perceived, whether you'll be accepted, whether you'll stay connected. And your system goes, that's not safe.
So instead of vulnerability, people do things like test instead of trust, hint instead of say, perform instead of reveal, right?
Or they overshare in a way that bypasses real vulnerability. Because oversharing can feel like openness, But it doesn't always involve risk.
And that's important because real vulnerability has stakes. There is something on the line.
And most people don't feel vulnerability because they don't want connection. They fear vulnerability because they've learned that being seen can lead to rejection, it can lead to misunderstanding, it can lead to loss of control, and in some cases, loss of connection.
So they adapt. They learn how to stay likable, stay agreeable, stay impressive, stay safe.
But the cost is you're never fully met, never fully seen, because you're never fully there. Now let's bring this into application, because this is where people start seeing themselves a lot more clearly. Introspection. Before vulnerability, there's a question. What am I protecting right now? Is it my image? Is it my desirability? Is it my sense of control? Or my fear of rejection? If you don't name what you're protecting, you'll automatically protect it.
I love when we do these and I feel so called out. All right, so let's talk about container. Vulnerability without structure can feel unsafe. So people either avoid it or rush it. But real vulnerability needs pacing and clarity, permission to slow down, the ability to pause. Without that, vulnerability just feels like exposure. With it, vulnerability becomes choice.
Next, we'll step into authenticity. Authenticity is what makes vulnerability real. It's not, I'll say something that sounds open, but I'll say what is actually true for me right now. Even if it's less polished, even if it's less certain, if it's less perfect, if it's less impressive.
So vulnerability. Vulnerability is not dumping everything, collapsing, seeking validation. It's staying connected to yourself while being seen, and that's the difference.
Next in our framework is safety, and this is where it all lands. Safety doesn't mean I won't feel anything uncomfortable. Safety means I can feel something uncomfortable and still stay with myself. If you can't stay with yourself, you'll protect yourself instead. So
let's look at where vulnerability breaks down in connection. Meet. If you're guarded and you're not meeting someone, you're scanning, you're assessing, you're preparing.
Next is invest. This is where trust actually starts to build. But if you don't trust, you start testing instead. You create subtle traps. You look for proof, you look for evidence. You're waiting for them to show something. Where is it? I know the shoe's gonna drop. Instead of allowing time to reveal consistency.
All right, so share information. This is where vulnerability should begin. But many people either hold back completely or overshare too quickly because they don't trust pacing.
And then we have share experience. And this is where it gets real. Because now you're no longer talking about connection. You're in it. And if your system doesn't trust, you're going to do a few things. You'll either pull back, control, or lose yourself. So now we bring this back to you. Not as theory, as pattern, because everyone listening has a version of a guard.
And the goal isn't to remove it overnight. The goal is to see it, to understand it, and to start loosening it with awareness.
So we're about to step into the breakout questions. What I like to tell everyone all the time is, as we name the question, as we state the question, pause, give yourself 3 minutes to answer the question, and then continue. You can hear our version of it, our answer for it first if you like, or you can write your answer first and then come back and hear what we have to say. Do that for each question. And then in a day or two, come back and flesh out the questions even more. You'll be surprised how much more information will be revealed if you just give yourself some time to reflect a little deeper.
Yeah.
So 3 minutes, move on to the next question, then come back in a day or two. So let's jump with question number 1. Where do I keep my guard up even when I want connection? Where do you hold back, feel to yourself, adjust your expression even when part of you wants to be closer? So question 1, where do I keep my guard up even when I want connection? I think for me, it's in new spaces.
I was just thinking the same thing.
When I walk into a new space and I don't know the lay of the land, I don't know the hierarchy, I don't know who is what. Because I like to, what's the word? It's not conformity, but whenever I go into a space, I adapt to the culture of the space. I don't come in projecting myself into these spaces, right? Assimilate. I assimilate into different spaces because it's not my space, it's not my rules, it's not my home. So does my guard come up? I become a lot more observant. I become less vocal. I become more quiet, and I observe. Because maybe I don't want to overstep. I don't want to insult someone, right? If I don't know the culture of the space, I'm not going to project my culture onto it, right? I want to see what the lay of the land is because I want to be respectful and mindful. But I'm not necessarily afraid of being judged. Because if I get judged, I'm out of there anyway, right? So it's like if you don't accept me, it's your loss and I'm gone.
Doesn't sound bad.
Yeah, but in unfamiliar spaces where I'll keep my guard up, and that's to make sure I don't get caught by an energy vampire too, right? Someone who wants to absorb me.
No, my answer to this question is more around new people. When I meet new people, particularly if I meet people who on first impression I like, or I feel that internal sense of I want to impress them, or I do, like, without thinking about it, without checking in with myself, an automatic feeling of like I need to project a certain image. I need to project myself in a certain kind of way to make sure that I'm not seen in a bad way, or I'm not rejected, or I'm not judged, right? And so my guard goes up from the standpoint of I tend to check out of myself. I don't check in with myself, and I become a little hypervigilant and try to make sure that I'm either being quiet so that I don't say anything out of line, or what I do say can be seen as either witty or helpful. And not that that's bad. There's nothing wrong with doing that. It's just, it's not as authentic as I could be if I just let myself show up and stay. It's the introspection piece. It's the check in with myself piece that I tend to overlook or slide over when I'm concerned about how I'm going to be received.
Yeah. What I really love about this, it takes me back to the TikTok 30-day challenge, right? It was like, we're here processing in real time.
Yeah.
Right. And
for those of you who were here with us for that 30-day challenge, we were in some stuff, and we had to be on every day at noon. And one day in particular, we had gone at it in the morning. And I showed up and I couldn't shake it. I couldn't pretend that it wasn't happening for me. We processed that stuff right in real time. And I had to do it. Like, there was a level of vulnerability that I had to not care if y'all judged me.
Yeah. No, but like when we're going through these, it's like, that's what we get to do with this stuff. It's like, so thank you guys. Instagram.
Yeah, right.
We have Instagram below you, Spotify, YouTube people. Because we want to show what this is like, because this is real stuff. Like this, while we have an outline and stuff like that, our ability to process this in real time is a big deal for me, because it's like
listen, I hope you guys are getting something out of this, but I'm getting lost.
Yeah. All right, question number 2. What do I believe will happen if I let myself be seen more honestly? Now, with this answer, be direct. Do you believe you'll be rejected, misunderstood, too much, not enough? What's the actual fear of being seen more honestly?
Check. For me, I do have a fear of being misunderstood. I have a fear of being seen as too much. I have a fear of being seen as not good enough, or not smart enough, or not whatever enough. I have all those fears. that come up for me about in the face of me being honest. Those are the things that push me to be quiet. Those are the things that push me to, if I have something that it occurs to me to want to say, but I can't be sure how it's going to land, and I'm in the middle of feeling afraid that I'll be misunderstood or judged or rejected, I just shut down and not say anything.
Yeah. As I'm thinking about it, it's like I temper myself in new spaces because I don't know who I am in the space, right? However, as we're talking here, I think about this shit like martial arts, like a dojo, right? And I'm a black belt wherever I go. If it's in the men's groups, if it's in the kink spaces, if it's in men's spaces, if it's at a bank, wherever I go, I'm coming in with my entire skill set, my entire everything, my whole lived experience everywhere I go. In that moment, I am whole with everything. I can't compartmentalize myself, right? So it's like, because with the question, what do I believe will happen if I let myself be seen more honestly? When I walk into spaces, I dial myself down because of that.
That's what I was just about to say. I show up as my whole self too, but in the question of, is that going to happen? I dial myself down.
Yeah.
I still know I'm all of me, but I don't put it out there.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily show up in an honest way because I'm protecting.
It also depends on the space that I'm in, right? It's like in the men's spaces, I had the men's group on Thursday. I walk in and all the heavy hitters for the men's groups is in there. And I'm like, fuck, I felt like I was in the spotlight because these guys have been doing this for decades. And then there's me, who's leading the group. And it's like, I was nervous because they all know something I don't know, and I'm gonna fuck it up. But then I had to sit with, dude, you deserve to be everywhere you go. You've earned this. And so being seen more honestly, why don't I claim my power? Like, what is preventing me from, because I don't even have to express it, but just inside myself, what prevents me from just saying, you're good. You deserve to be here anyway.
You do that a little bit more than you think, I think.
And on the inside, it's
still a struggle.
It's still a struggle sometimes. Yeah. Like, with kink spaces, I think I'm pretty solid with that.
Yeah.
Because I put in my fucking time, right?
Yeah.
I guess that's the other thing is, and it comes back to depending on where I'm at. With that, I'm still a whole person everywhere I go. So even in those spaces of uncertainty, it's like, dude, you're good. Like when we get into the talking circuits, right, around power exchange and relationships and the shit we know, it's like I need to walk up and we need to walk in with our heads up high, back straight, and like, this is my strength, not is it my strength?
Right.
So I don't know if I answered that.
I think we did. So question number 3, who do I trust? And what specifically allows that trust to exist? Be specific. Is it consistency, honesty, pacing, respect? What actually builds trust for you?
Who do I trust and what specifically allows that trust to exist? Time and consistency is what builds it. Who do I trust? I trust the people closest to me, right? It's like, everyone gets a standard level of trust, meaning I'm gonna turn my back and I trust you're not gonna fucking shoot me, right? But I'm not giving you my credit cards, right? So it's like, everyone gets a starter kit of trust.
Yeah.
Now, how does it develop? How does it deepen? Is consistency. It's a person's actions. It's their actions matching their words.
Yeah.
How I feel. What are they doing with the information I provide? Like, how are you treating me? And then how are you treating the people around you? So I trust most people. Yeah, I trust most people.
This brings me back to the stuff we talk about when we talk about this in the work that we do, right? Trust is either something that is given and can be lost, or trust is something to be earned, depending on how you look at trust in the world, right? And for me, I'm sort of a mixed bag of those two things. Depending on how I connect with someone initially, I may, internally, mentally offer them a certain degree of trust, and then it would be theirs to lose. In cases where I feel a little bit more insecure, or I feel like I get a vibe off of somebody and I'm not clear about it, so my back goes up a little bit, the trust will be theirs to earn with me. And I, like you, feel like I can trust the people who are closest to me. I don't have any problem doing that. And all other things being equal, like I just started a new job, right? And I went in and everyone was a blank slate. Everyone was granted that certain degree of trust with me, that they would be like a coworker that I can depend on, a manager that'll be fair and equitable. Like everyone was given that. And then people get the opportunity to show up, and I see what they do, right? And in one case, the one manager got a little snarky with me about something. So now she's somebody who I have at sort of more at an arm's length, right? And I'm just going to hide and watch with her. So I don't go out of my way to engage with her. I take whatever she says, et cetera, right? But that was on evidence of something. That wasn't just because I didn't trust her to begin with.
Yeah.
So that's how trust works for me.
So yeah, that's trust for me. What actually builds trust? Yeah, consistency and time. Mm-hmm. Question 4: where do I test people instead of trusting them directly? Look at subtle behaviors, indirect communication, waiting instead of asking. Where do you create proof instead of building connection?
I think I just spoke to that a little bit a second ago.
Yeah.
I think I test people when a bump comes up, right? Like if everything's flowing smoothly, I don't know that I necessarily feel the need to test anybody. But when something becomes problematic, or if I have a tough interaction with someone, then I start testing sometimes. And truthfully, like, what would be the harm in just staying open? Right? I'm asking myself this question in real time.
Yeah.
Like, what would hurt me to just stay open and more vulnerable, be curious about something, or why somebody said a certain kind of thing, or why they were a certain kind of way, rather than getting like defended about it, right? Like if I just could stay open and more vulnerable and more available, things would have an opportunity to go in a better direction. So thank you for that.
And this is why this is processing. Thinking about it is not processing. This is processing. That's how the shit works. It's like talking it out and hearing yourself say it. It's like, oh, wait a second. Mm-hmm. Where do I test people instead of trusting them directly? I think the testing comes after I've met somebody. I don't test off the bat. Once I see a pattern break, once I see there's an inconsistency, it's like, now you've got my attention. Right? It's like...
Yeah. But the question becomes, can I stay open past that?
Yeah.
Can I stay open after that happens?
Because I need to see what happens, and then if what happens next proves me right or wrong, where do I go from there?
Right.
Right? Do I stay testing? Do I cut it? Do I communicate it? What am I doing when the trust is shaky? Like, and then how am I trying to prove it? Right? Because then am I creating?
Well, yeah, but part of the problem with that is you know, like when all you have is a hammer, everything looks like a nail.
Yeah, then you're looking for the problem.
You're looking for confirmation at that point of the fact of your now new judgment or opinion of the person.
What do they call it in law enforcement when you're it's not coercion, but you're giving the person the evidence to commit the crime.
Oh.
What's that word?
Collusion?
No, not collusion. And it's not conspiracy.
No, but I know what you mean. I do know what you mean.
Where they frame them. It's like, it's like they wouldn't have done it if you didn't give them the shit to do it with.
It's like you give them the rope to hang themselves with. Yeah.
It's like giving them the guns and then they go rob someone and you're like, you robbed him. It's like, but you gave me the fucking gun.
Right. Exactly.
Right.
It's that idea of giving people rope to hang themselves.
Yeah. So
instead of just being open and curious and vulnerable.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy how all this shit is
Mama's takeaway from the podcast today. Thank you very much.
So let's jump into our second set of questions. So when we're on live on Tuesday nights in our Conscious Conversations, the way this works is we'll do a drop-in, we'll do a check-in, hey, where you from, blah, 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 and then we'll go into 2 breakout rooms. What we just finished is the first set of 4 questions. Our first breakout room, it's introspection and awareness. And that's a 25-minute breakout room. And then we come back, we regroup, we do a quick check-in, then we go into our second breakout room, which is the next set of questions, which is integration.
And if you think that you get more out of answering these questions and then coming back in a day or 2, wait till you see the feedback that you get when you hear other people answer these questions live and in real time.
Because that's where the gold is. It's like, this is the meat, but the potatoes comes later, right? Or the potatoes comes first and then the meat, whichever one's better, right?
Exactly.
And then that's just the conversations. We are expanding what we're doing to a larger meet once a month where you guys have the WhatsApp group to chat, and then we have the Q&As once a month to talk about, to bounce off of the things you're experiencing, the things you're processing, and then with us, where we get to answer your questions specifically to what you're experiencing. So it's like, this stuff is really helpful for us, and it's really impactful for us too. I think I've learned the most.
And for everyone who comes.
But for the guys, for the folks who come, it's like, it's crazy because it just expands exponentially.
Yeah.
All right, question 5.
Question 5. So, what does trust feel like in my body? And how is it different from familiarity?
Because familiar doesn't always mean safe.
Right. No, absolutely. Familiar does not always mean safe. Particularly depending on your background.
Yeah.
Right? When you come from trauma, when you come from
abuse,
that's what feels familiar.
So trust in my body feels like release, relief, presence.
Yeah.
Ultimately, I think trust in my body allows me to be present. I'm not thinking about the past. I'm not thinking about what's coming up. We were talking about this, Natalie and I were talking about this the other day. Mm-hmm. Being present is a form of meditation.
Right, you were telling me about that conversation.
Right, so it's like, imagine if I can be so present, like I'm so in the moment, because I'm not thinking about the past, I'm not paying attention to the thoughts crossing my mind. I'm here with you, I'm hearing the action, I'm hearing the behavior. Yeah. And that's what trust feels like in the body, is presence for me.
Yeah. Trust feels like my guard is down. Trust feels like I don't have to. Because the opposite of trust is when I'm not sure how I'm going to be received, and I do a gerbil wheel of rehearsal in my head about what I'm going to be saying, right? So someone's talking and I get a thought, but then I second guess the thought, and then I think about, well, what else would I say, or what would I? It's like I start going through this whole thing in my head about what I might be talking, what is okay to say, right? Trust feels like I don't have to do any of that. Trust feels like I can let fly whatever out of my mouth comes up, and know that it's going to land okay, or that if it doesn't land okay, the person will tell me and it won't be held against me. And that kind of trust feels relieving, like you said. It feels good in my body.
I need something to step on.
All right.
All right, number 6. Where am I asking others to be vulnerable in ways I'm not practicing myself? Where is there a mismatch? That's a tough question. I don't think that is true for me in most cases. I'd have to really think about that, because my rule is, in order for you to die for me, I have to die for you. Dive. If I am asking something of you, I need to be willing to do the same. And that's my practice.
Was it always your practice?
It wasn't always my practice.
Right.
But I had to learn that. And I don't remember when I learned that.
Yeah.
I don't remember when I learned that. Where am I asking others to be vulnerable in ways I'm not practicing myself? Okay. When it comes to, when it comes to walking with people, to ask for what you want. Ask for what you want. Go live your best life. Especially when it came around to my relationship with my body. go do this, liberate yourselves, all this happy horse shit. And then I had so much shame that was keeping me from doing it. So I think where I ask others to be vulnerable in ways that I'm not necessarily practicing myself is when I don't fucking ask for what I want. Right? Because I tell people, hey, ask for what you want, ask for what you want, ask for what you want. And here I am in the fucking corner, afraid of asking what I want because of fear. So that's where there's a mismatch. See?
Yeah, I think for me, I maybe used to do this more. I don't know that I do it that much now, because if I'm actually asking someone else to be vulnerable, I am being mindful of being vulnerable myself, because I think I never even used to ask people to be vulnerable. Like, I never used to engage with people that way at all. Like, I just let people show up however they were going to show up, and whether it was authentic or completely full of shit or whatever, like, I never questioned. But now I have a tendency to want to ask people to be more honest, or I'll ask a question that'll try to reveal a deeper layer, and understand that I need to be willing to do the same thing myself.
Yeah.
And I think I do that a little bit more now than I used to. I was thinking about like work situations where when I work with people, but I'm not sure that may be an appropriateness, right? It's like if someone else is in the hot seat, if I'm being asked to be in the role of counselor, then it's not necessarily for me to be all that super vulnerable when their work involves them being vulnerable. So I'm not sure if that applies, but it does happen there some in that realm. But I don't know that I wouldn't be vulnerable. It's just a matter of deciding whether it's appropriate.
Yeah. That's fair.
In that setting.
That's fair.
Yeah.
So number 7.
All right. What's one truth I've been holding back that would deepen connection if expressed?
Not dramatic, just honest. I think it's about, for me, it's about speaking about my needs. What is one truth I've been holding back that would deepen connection if expressed? My needs. I need this. Like last night or the night before, Natalie was awake and she was like, wait for me. I said, I need to go to sleep. I need to. Because she was eating, she was whatever the fuck she was doing. Like she started to shower and shit like that. It was like at least another half an hour. But I override my needs. And it was like, I need to go to sleep. So I think that's a truth about me, is that I don't express my needs enough, because it allow you the opportunity to provide my need.
Yeah.
Right. And without that, we're missing that opportunity for fulfillment, meaning I can give you, or in my case, I can receive because I asked.
Right. Well, and that's true. I mean, because for a long time in my life, all I could do is give. I wasn't capable of receiving. And that's very one-sided. And that, you know, I'll say it all the time. Energy in the universe requires a flow, a back and forth in order to be healthy. And so when I lived in that way where I was only willing to give, and then if anybody wanted to do anything for me, I was like, no, that's okay. I don't need anything. I don't want it. It's like, I'm sort of blocking the natural flow of energy that exists in the universe, and it's not healthy. And I'm better now about asking for my needs, but I'm not so good about asking for my wants, right? It's like if I really need something, like if I need to go to bed, I go to bed. I've gotten good at that, right? But when I want something, like I want to go do something, or I want to do something I want to do something that's not a requirement, right? Needs are like have-tos. Right, like I have to eat, I have to go to sleep, I have to do work, I have to do whatever I have to do. But when there's a want, I'm afraid I'm going to be too much. I'm afraid I'm going to be, asking somebody to do something maybe with me, and that it's going to be an imposition, and then or if I want to do something, like in the case of you, like if I want to do something that I know is going to take me away from you, and I know that you would prefer for me to be with you, then I second guess myself about it. Like if I want to go to a meeting, or if I want to go do something.
Because I want you to stay in bed with me, man.
I know. So sometimes I get in conflict around, and there'd be nothing wrong really with me saying, I want to do this thing, and then I could choose to do something else, but it would be more honest if I showed up and said, I'd like to do this, whatever this is, rather than just shoving it away because I don't want to be perceived as not being willing to do what you need me to do or be there for you in a way that's supportive, that like you don't feel loved and supported. And so that's where I struggle with that.
Mom.
It's true.
Number 8, what is one safe way I can practice vulnerability this week? It can be small, make it real, make it doable.
So I'll show up and ask for what I want.
Yeah, and I will do the same. Because wants as well. Like when I want something from the fridge, Mom, are you hungry? Are you thirsty, Mama? Right? Versus, Mama, can I get something to drink?
Yeah, right? Exactly.
I'm that guy. It's so
funny.
All right, so let's review the questions that we just covered. For trust and vulnerability, the first 4 questions. Where do I keep my guard up?
What do I fear will happen if I'm seen?
Number 3, what actually builds trust for me?
Number 4, where do I test instead of trust?
And then the next set of questions are the deeper dive. Number 5, what does trust feel like in my body?
Number 6, where am I not matching what I ask for?
Number 7, what truth am I holding back?
Number 8, how can I practice vulnerability this week? Most people think vulnerability happens when they feel safe, but often vulnerability is what reveals safety.
And this is why doing this work alone only gets you so far, because you can think about vulnerability, but it's different when you say something real out loud, when you hear how it lands, when you feel your body respond.
And this is what happens inside Conscious Conversations. Every Tuesday, you're not just thinking about these questions, you're practicing them.
For $30 a month, you get access to that. And for those who want deeper support, the $97 Integration Circle gives you community, real-time processing, and direct support.
If you can't be seen, you can't be fully met.
And if you're always protecting yourself, you're never really experiencing connection.
So, instead of asking, is this person safe?
Start asking, am I letting myself be seen? Next week we complete this month, and we talk about something most people avoid: the impact you have on others.
Because safety isn't just something you feel, it's something you create.
Dude, next week's gonna be crazy. Next month, anyway, you'll see. And next month we step into the mirror, where your reactions, your triggers, and patterns start pointing back to you.
And that's where things get even more honest.
Dude, listen, man. New episode drops every Friday, and the work continues inside Conscious Conversations Tuesday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern. This is where the work happens, man. I get goosebumps just thinking about it.
Me too. We look forward to seeing you.
Thank you. See you soon.
Thanks for joining us.
Awesome.